Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another Ford Lightning Harley-Davidson. This is the week of the Harley-Davidson right here in the shop in my lab. This time, well, it's actually this computer was here not too long ago. Hubert Beek. Hopefully, I'm saying his name correctly. He's from Florida. His concern is he said the truck run, but then it's a long cranking sometimes, and it sees dashes on the instrument cluster. I said, well, I didn't experience that in here. I didn't fix the instrument cluster. I just fixed the computer. But I said, make sure the connections are fine because if by any chance the computer loses communication or the instrument cluster loses communication or it's a problem in the harness, then that will happen. I have run the computer probably, I don't know, maybe for 10, 15 minutes. I have tried multiple starts, but I want to record everything for him. So we got the 5 reference. All coils and all injectors, as you can see, are nice and bright and they're in good shape. The RPM are beautiful, steady, not a problem with that. We're going to try to perform the communication. Again, that's Uber Beak. So let's focus first in here to make sure that I haven't pulled his folder to see the bin number. But let's get this done first. I'm going to try to make this as a one-piece video so he sees that this is indeed in his computer. All right, so 01823. Let me pull up his folder. Got pretty much everything ready here. So 2003 Harley Davidson Overbeek. Yep. I don't want to share his number. Let me see if I have a picture. Yeah, right here. All right, so this is from last visit, and you guys can go and see that on the last video I have from for him. But we can see KD01823, KD01823. So communication is perfect. It doesn't lose communication with the scanner. And just for the records as well, I'm going to put that in here. Let me make sure the phone focus. We can see that that is a 2C. Let me turn the light out, the light on. 2C6A-128-650-AC. And this, as you can see, has still my stickers. This is the cover for the computer, and that's over big mileage. It runs every single time in here. So I'm going to turn the vehicle off. So we're going to turn this off in here. I'm going to turn everything complete off so we won't lose power to the instrument cluster and everything. This is like disconnecting the battery. So I'm going to turn the battery on, ignition on. We will see the sweep and the TEF light goes on, goes and off, and then we got mileage. That is immediately right there. Because he sent me a couple of videos. He said that he just has the ignition on and no mileage. I'm like, okay, well, that might be a problem either in the instrument cluster or in the powers or grounds. So the instrument cluster, again, I cannot fix that because I don't have the car. He's in Florida, I'm in Virginia. But I said, don't worry about it. I always try to help my customers as much as I can. And I said, send the computer and everything back for me to test because no matter what, in this case, it's connecting here. Literally takes me 5, 10 minutes. It takes me longer to do the video than what it's going to take me to connect it back in here because I am just trying to reproduce his concern. So again, let me turn this off. So on this time, I just turn the ignition off because obviously the car will have the battery connected, right? So let's do that again. So ignition on now, and we can see now that in there. So TEF light should go off and mileage is right there. So nothing wrong with that. So let's now try to put this to run. Come on. Sometimes I have to just get out of here. So give me 1 second to establish the communication back because this one for sometimes a full probe I gotta reset it after key cycle. I mean that's not in my hands, right? So let me just do this and reset everything to the value that I keep always for here. And let's do, come on. Ignition on. Hmm. All right, guys, still with here with Uber. I was able to reproduce his concern, which is I didn't lose communication with the actual instrument cluster, but I did notice that, as you saw in the just before, that the computer start like communicating, but no crank, no coils or injector activation. So yes, definitely was a problem inside the computer. So Uber, thank you so much for sending the computer back. Sometimes it's a little hard, especially with you have intermittence like this. I take the computer run and run, and then I have it running for like an hour, and everything was working good. Send it over to him, and then it was running good for him, and then it started giving a second problem. Let's say intermittently not starting, which is also common on these computers. Um, I did check all my repairs. Everything is correct, but it was a component that needed to be replaced. That was actually um, kind of like halfway broken under the microscope. You can see a little bit of a crack. Well, I was able to see a little bit of a crack, and yes, I needed to like warm up because if I leave the ignition on or heat up the board, the computer start running. So yes, that was the situation, and now I'm able to make it work. So I got everything ready. I got the full probe connected. I got power bench probe ready to go. So let's turn the computer on. You will see that on the instrument cluster that we get the TEF light goes off, and then we have the mileage, which is good communication. And then what I was trying to do yesterday, put the computer to run. As you can see right now, we are getting injector in milliseconds perfectly there. We got a signal for the coils and a signal for the injectors. Sometimes a little hard to see here, but yeah, if there, we got the firewall reference. The computer is now working 100%. So I'm going to just keep it running for a while, let it warm up, and then retry. Because if I remember on the first video, I think I was trying to communicate with the scanner. So let me do that same thing. Gosh, my latest COVID shot yesterday, my arms are a little sore. One recommendation I want to give all, if you're going to get your COVID shot, make sure that if you sleep on the side, I sleep on the side, make sure that you don't use the one you laid on as your arm for the shot, because otherwise you will not be able to sleep. I learned that, and the first time I went and take a shot for the COVID test, I use the other shoulder so you can rest and sleep comfortably. I take a couple of Tylenols just to make sure I can go past the night without suffering too much. This time I didn't feel any secondary effect except for the pain on the shoulder. So I guess it's a mild one, or our body is already used to, since we are indeed taking multiple shots already, right? All right, so let's get the communication going on in here. Again, the computer is still running all good, so we're going to do an auto scan. We already know the beam number. This is a next day, so I don't remember the beam by memory, but I can pull it out in the meantime. That's getting ready for it. Should be KD01823. KD01823 is a 2003, so all is good. And again, I'm just going to try to reproduce the same time that we used in the beginning of the video, selecting all the um, selections on the scanner again, and then turning the computer off, and then retry to start. I'm 100% sure the computer is already repaired, but I want to share that on the video so he can see it. Again, your instrument cluster is never losing communication, which is one thing that he was referring. I'm not being able to see that here. I set the ignition on, and he's saying sometimes he set the ignition on and there was no dashes or no mileage reading, which is a loss of communication in between the PCM and the instrument cluster. I think that he might have another problem on the vehicle. All right, so PCM, we're gonna enter that, and I'm just going to select just minimum pits, battery, RPM, and air temperature sensor. Pretty much that's all I select just to make sure that we are indeed having good communication, which I know for sure we do. But yeah, this is what you do. So we're going to do to read data stream. I really, really like this step-down scanner. It's very fast. It has a very good memory, very strong, very well built. Okay, so battery voltage, um, engine revolutions per minute, and I'm just scrolling a little fast to get the air temperature. Let me see, intake temperature degrees, and okay, that might not be the one because this has like time misfires. So let's go back. Um, Selected the wrong one in there. All right, so we don't need this one. We need this one. Okay, now we have the temperature. And now on the full probe, I can take the air temperature all the way to the lowest I can read in there. Now we can see that it's going down to 160. RPMs are reading good. Battery voltage is reading good. So we did this same thing yesterday. And I was saying in the beginning of the video, I cannot see anything wrong because I was trying to reproduce the loss of communication with the instrument cluster and not the, because I thought it was the same thing. No communication with the cluster. Car will not start because there is no permission for the anti-theft. But that was not the case. All right, so I'm going to stop here. I'm going to turn these off. Wait for that to, yeah, as you can see, we lost communication. All right, so we're going to set the ignition back on. You can see, when that is, hopefully, yeah, you can see the anti-theft light blinking in there. That's a normal battery is on, no ignition. So it's checking for the anti-theft system to be working good. So ignition on, anti-theft light should go off, and it does. And then we have the fuel, miles reading. I'm just going to click again for the scanner to reconnect, and we can see that it's indeed connecting, and we have 0 RPMs. So everything is ready to go. We just will start here and then set up my RPMs, and now we can see we got a immediately injection. I can see that's what I love about this setup that has a visual on the screen that I can snap a picture and share that with the customer. But yeah, over your computer is 100% now working. I have tried multiple times, and the reason I'm recording this video is to prove that is now not happening. I recorded the first part, and I'm not going to cut anything because I'm like, something is weird in here. And then, okay, let me double check, let me triple check, and then yes, I found the culprit. It was another chip that it needed to be replaced. And sometimes, like I said, it's a little hard because you start a computer and it runs good. And sometimes, and this is something I'm going to change in the procedures that I work on this for. I was turning the computer on and then setting up the full probe. That was giving enough time to the computer to warm up and then run good, which is kind of like what this computer needs when they have that issue. You have to like heat it up either with a heat gun or let the ignition on for like 30 40 seconds or so, and now your car will crank and start every single time. And that is also what we will see with another computer that I'm working on. Kyle from North Carolina, he has um, that issue, the same thing, that is a long crank or no start. And he's on my video and he's in the computer. I have three Harley Davidson computers right now here. So I have this from Uber. I'm going to, this is Kyle, and this is Alex Herrera. As you can see, I have those already ready to go. I need their approvals. I have already tested and I know I can fix them. So I'm going to send this their way. I got another repairs in here and I got multiple boxes underneath and some in the basement because I tried to keep the ones that are, uh, you know, ahead of the time because I tell people, yes, depends on how much work I got here. I'm going to be able to work on your computer until next week or the following week, depends when the package gets here. When the package gets to me is when I start counting the days, not when you send it. So please, some people sends the package, oh yeah, it should be already arriving by Monday, and then when it arrives on Monday, they start counting like already it's been a week. I'm sorry, if it took a week to get to me, I don't count that as a time. It's a time of arrival, a time in my hands. So please wait for that if you can wait. Otherwise, I have express repairs. They're obviously, sorry, more expensive because then I move you up and I have to work extra hours. I don't take customers' um, positions away. I do normal repairs from my business hours. If it's an express repair, I will do that after hours, and that's why I charge extra. If you want that, then I can do it. If you don't, then you just have to wait, all right? All right, guys, thank you so much for visiting the channel. Uber again, your computer is now working 100%. Let me turn it one more time off. We see that it's off. I'm going to turn the computer off in here. Again, we lost communication, so just one more time for the sake of the video. Click in here, establish communication, turn the ignition on, and let it run. And immediately we see injectors, and we can see the response of the coils and injectors and everything in here, nice and bright and steady. So all is good to go. All right, guys, thank you so much for visiting the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Again, if you want to send a module for repairs, all I really request for people is just hit the contact button. That will send me an email. You can start a chat session in here on the right corner. If you scroll down and you want to book a repair, book a repair is for those that are local, so you can then book and then you can stop by. These are again repairs that I can do. And yes, you can select that. That is, you don't have to pay for anything in here. This is just for to let you know what they start at. And then again, the book of a repair is if you are local or you want to let me know that you are sending a module. I mean, you can use that, but please don't get confused by what book a repair might be. This is an electrical lab. It's not an automotive diagnostic shop. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye bye.